If you are beginning to see a connection between what you are emotionally living and the physical ailments you have in your body throughout this COVID-19 era, then this video is for you. It's for you because that is not your imagination. That is actually a fact. People who suffer and have suffered allergies and asthma, bronchitis, whatever respiratory system you want to talk about, that is all going to increase in this era because of the stressors that we have around us, because of the grief and the loss that we're experiencing. In traditional Chinese medicine, it is taught that we carry grief and loss in our lungs. And this is an era where we are experiencing those two emotions in a heightened way, never before, and globally at that. So even if you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, yes, I do have allergies, I do have asthma, but yeah, no, I haven't lost anything. I'm good. I work from home, so I haven't lost my employment. My loved ones are all with me. In fact, brothers of my brothers, family of my family, we're all good. No loss here. It's not affecting me. Even if you think that way, you may very well have carried the grief of someone else. You may have loved ones who have lost friends, or you may be putting on the news and listening to all the news around the world and making it yours. In other words, even if it's not your personal loss and your personal grief, you actually might be carrying somebody else's. So whether it's yours or whether it's someone else's, this video and the information here is going to be helpful for you. Also remember that even if you argue that you have had no loss, the fact that we have lost life as we knew it, and we have lost our right and our ability to come and go as we used to, that is a loss in itself. And whether you believe that affects you or not, it does. And as you feel that emotion, it weakens your respiratory system. So you're going to find that there is an increase in allergies and there is an increase in asthma, and that what worked before isn't working right now. So what does that all mean? Well, because I always recommend a product line that I personally use and I show people how to order directly from the company. I don't sell the product. I'm going to be talking about those products specifically. There are products such as Soul Clear SI and Excel that we use from the clarifying category in Soul Naturals. Now, these products have successfully helped you in the past. If you are someone who battles allergies or asthma, and you've found that in the past, if you took 3 capsules of Excel 2 times a day, you were good to go. And if you had, along with that, 2 Excels during the day, 2 envelopes of Excel, that worked. And so now you figure, well, if it isn't working, I'm just going to simply increase it. And if you're now at 5 capsules of Soul Clear SI 3 times a day or 4 times a day or 5 times a day, and it isn't working, and you're now taking 2 and 3 and 4 of these and it isn't working, and you're wondering, okay, why am I choking on all this phlegm? Keep in mind that a new element has come into your environment. Now it's no longer just the inflammation from what happens around you, from the intoxication, the toxic environment. It's not just that. Now the new element that has come to play is stress, is all the loss we were talking about and the grief that now weakens this system that's already a system that for you gives you issues, is weak. So it's an added element. So now, if you understand that it's not just the organ itself, but rather that additional element, then you'll think of it and address it a little different. Once I understand that the new stressor is the way my body, my respiratory system reacts to stress, and the way I hold the grief and the loss in my lungs, then I'm going to address it differently. Then I'm going to think of the categories of the calming category in Soul Naturals, so the blue one. I'm going to think of the blue tea instead. I'm going to think of how important it is to have more of this one. I'm going to think of how important it is to have more of Soul Vital. I'm going to think of how important it is to have adaptable. Because now what am I doing? Now I'm addressing my nervous system a little bit more, my glandular system. And so now my body will have the ability to catch up. Because as I use too many of the yellow category, I may be bringing up a lot of stuff that the body can't quite get out just yet. And so you feel like you're choking and all the phlegm that's ready to come out, but the added stressor isn't being addressed. So there is some food for thought. Instead of upping your amount of these amazing products that you're taking that are meant to clear and come out of your body, let your body catch up and understand that there's an additional stressor, and you may be concentrating on the wrong ones and need to add these instead and increase these instead. Now remember, and you've heard me say it a lot, there's no incorrect way to use soul. But if you understand a little bit better how to use it more appropriately and more of benefit to you, then you'll be more successful in seeing results. Another thing that's happening in this time is that people are using the essential oils a little bit more, which is awesome. But we think that more is better, and it's not. So if you're using formulas that are already prepared, you don't need to roll them on this much. If this worked before and all of a sudden you're doing it a lot and you're still feeling that with the increase of this and too much of this, it's just, I'm choking, nothing's working, I think that, you can correctly begin to think, okay, this does not work. This stuff doesn't work anymore. I think I created a non-reaction to it, or I'm just, overdid it on it. It's not that. It's that you need to let your body catch up. It's that you don't need more. Less is better. So what does that mean? That I can do one roll-on and then spread it out. Or just one and then spread it out. And then take advantage of the fact that I have some of it in my hand and I can do deep breathing exercises as well. So instead of doing too much, up and down, up and down, up and down, once, and that's enough, and maybe just more frequently versus, okay, 20 times once a day. So there's a couple of thoughts for you so that you can do things a little different, because it does help with the emotions, but it will help you even if you do it in a lower dose. And in this time where we have the additional stressor that we've been talking about in terms of loss and grief, yours or someone else's that you're picking, if you're picking up and carrying, if you're a caretaker, that happens too. You haven't been able to process what you're going through because you're too aware of everybody else. And so all that will create an added effect. If you understand this, you'll be better prepared to make changes in the way you're using soul and then be more successful. Remember, there's only 4 things that affect our respiratory system. It's things that are out of balance in our body. So body systems that may be working too much, others that may be too exhausted. So being out of balance. 2, the contaminants that we're exposed to every day. Breathing them in, putting them on, if we're putting in perfumes or creams that are toxic because we don't know any different. So being out of balance, the toxins that we bring into our body, breathing them in. Sometimes we get a lot of aerosols that we're spraying in this time, a lot of Lysol, and we're breathing it in and it's affecting us negatively. That's not going to help either with respiratory issues. 3, pathogens that are coming into the body and finding wonderful habitat. So now we have bacteria, viruses, fungus, parasites that want to stay there and clog up our lymphatic system. 3, that's the third one. And 4, that we simply lack nutrition. Only 4 things that keep us sick, and those 4 things need to be addressed. If you're only addressing the symptom, the allergy, the asthma, you'll be doing it for the rest of your life. But if you're addressing the symptoms, the being out of balance, the toxicity that you might have in your body, the lack of the extra pathogens that are in there and not wanting to get out because you're creating a great habitat for them, and the lack of nutrition. If you don't address those things, then it'll be harder to get rid of the respiratory issues you have as well. And the beauty of soul is that no matter how you do those, no matter how you address them, with what products you're addressing them, you'll always be addressing your nervous and glandular system, because that's the way soul works. Remember, there's a 4-month program that will help you address each one of those that we mentioned. The being out of balance, the toxicity, the help you detoxing, also the fact that, the lymphatic system gets clogged with wrong pathogens, and the lacking nutrition. So if you got this video from someone, ask them to help you find this program and get on it in auto ship. If you happen to just find it on your own, then leave me a message and I'll surely explain to you and mail you a brochure so that you can have one, or send it to you in pictures so you can get it electronically. And remember that although this is an era where you may be experiencing an increase of physical ailments, Soul is beautifully designed to help you address the emotional side, which is what's going to increase your physical imbalances. Soul will help you retain the health you have if you're very happy with it, regain it if you've lost it, or improve it if you're always looking for a little bit better way to improve your health. And as you do all that, on the right of your screen here, you'll see a little link or a little section where you can subscribe to my channel so that you can be made aware of future videos in the future. Future videos in the future. Of future videos. And I encourage you to sign up so that you can receive announcements as they air. And again, I wish you success, because I know that no one will take better care of your health than you will.